Apple's new iPhone for 2026 just leaked here at CES in a really weird way. In fact, some are saying this was sabotage by a competitor that rhymes with band bunk. So let me break down the biggest Apple news of the week, tell you all the iPhone goodness for 2026, and some other weird AirPod rumors and leaks, and some other stuff from the show, and also give a huge thanks to the folks at DREO for sponsoring this video. Okay, so besides a very quick stint back in 2020, Apple hasn't been at the CES show proper here in Vegas in like over 20 years. I mean, if you think about it, they can kind of do their own thing, which is why they've got special events. There's WWDC. Anyone remember the days of Macworld? Remember original iPhone at Macworld? That was super cool, kind of their own CES. Even though they're not here, their presence is everywhere. Not only do you have companies making a lot of Apple accessories, but also you've got competitors trying to get ahead of what Apple is going to do for the new year. For example, Dell kind of revitalized, brought back the XPS name and lineup with some really nice looking thin laptops, which not only look to kind of directly compete with the MacBook Air, but also with all of these rumors about a low-cost MacBook launching probably pretty soon, maybe even before the spring. I feel like there's a lot of interest from companies to get back into the thin, light, and kind of lower end and even the high end kind of laptop space, especially since Apple is going to sort of expand their dominance of the MacBook Air with this new MacBook or whatever this low-cost thing is. We also see a bunch of companies trying to beat Apple to the punch of stuff they're going to do this year. So for example, Dell is trying to get in on people who want a Pro Display XDR before the new one comes out. They've got a monstrous, I think it's like a 52-inch 6K display. And then also you've got companies trying to get ahead of the whole touchscreen Mac thing and make their own touchscreen Mac solutions without having to wait for Apple to do it in the fall or buy an all-new solution with the new MacBook Pro. So definitely seems like companies know what Apple is doing and they're trying to jump ahead to kind of get the momentum before Apple eventually does it themselves. And let's be honest, Apple's probably going to do it better. Now, on the flip side of that, what is also super interesting to see is kind of what's not here at the show. Because remember, because of all the leaks and rumors and everything we've heard, these companies are deeply embedded in the supply chain and they know what Apple is working on before the general public does. So typically, if they don't have an accessory here, they probably know something we don't, or they're confirming some rumors that we kind of think are kind of legit. For example, while there are a bunch of cases, battery banks, and accessories for the iPhone, something I really didn't see much of at all, if any, was like anything specific for the iPhone Air. Given how much Apple has hyped this phone, and given how much it is loved by people who have it, we have just heard that sales data isn't kind to this phone, and really no one is going out of their way to buy it. It just isn't super popular. And we've even heard rumors that Apple is going to do a version 2, but it's likely not going to happen until the spring of next year in 2027. And according to what we see here at CES, that's likely the case. Nothing special for the Air now, and if the Air 2 is delayed, which it looks like it is, no one's rushing to make anything now, so that seems like a rumor that actually, according to what we see inside, probably is true. There have also been some wild Apple rumors over the last week or so that don't make a lot of sense, but I'll throw them out there in the case that maybe they are right. For example, there was an all-new analyst report that came out that Apple is ready to launch a new version of AirPods Pro. Like not a totally new AirPods Pro 4, but like a 3.5 that would allegedly be packed with cameras that would be used by Apple Intelligence, which I guess the idea sounds interesting. We had actually heard that they were gonna do some kind of camera thing on the Apple Watch as well, and also use that with Apple Intelligence, but that never panned out. I mean, I guess it would make sense, and if Apple Intelligence gets better, then maybe there's a case to be made. And then also the internet was going crazy over the last couple of days over a photo of what looked like Apple had finally brought 5G cellular connectivity to the Mac, which, long story short, this turned out to be fake. But now that Apple is doing their own cell modems, like they're doing it in-house with the iPhone Air, likely coming to the iPad and other iPhones and things like that, a cell-focused version of the Mac, or like a cell-equipped version of the MacBook, actually makes way more sense than ever, and hopefully is something we see in 2026. Something else that just makes so much sense for 2026 is for Apple to finally, obviously, iron out their AI issues, because when it works well, great AI smarts paired with like prestige AI hardware can enable some pretty cool experiences which is exactly what DREO is showing off here on the show floor here at CES. Now, obviously, you probably have heard of DREO before. They're very well known for their kitchen appliances, obviously extremely well known for their fans, air conditioning units, humidifiers, and lots of cool, literally really cool tech. But also what they're showing off here is how you can take great hardware like that, pair it with AI smarts, and get some pretty cool, unique experiences. They've introduced some brand new tech here called DREO AI, which basically combines these two things together to give you some cool things. They're using LLMs on sort of one side, so you can naturally talk to an AI agent, but also integrating it with their hardware of different technologies, humidifiers, fans, heaters, and things like that, so you can basically just say one thing, and then all the appliances work just for you. So let's say, for example, you want to feel like you're in a nice warm beach in Hawaii. Maybe you're like me in the East Coast and you're freezing right now. You can just tell DREO AI to put you on a beach in Maui, and it's going to adjust the humidity, the temperature. It's going to give you a slight breeze to emulate the ocean and really kind of transport you to your bespoke location. And these AI smarts also extend to the kitchen. You can use DREO AI to either, probably the easiest thing is just to take a picture of something you want to make, and then DREO AI gets to work and then is going to give you step-by-step instructions. And speaking of that hardware, DREO has got a whole lot of cool stuff they're showing off at their booth here at CES. They've got some pretty cool turbo cool technology in their fans here that not only do a good job of like rapidly cooling down your space, but also they've got this 3-in-1 misting fan that literally gives you the perfect mist that keeps you cool and helps you feel refreshed. They've got their Barista Maker and Barista Maker Nano that will froth milk for you literally with the touch of a button. And of course, they've got their Chef Maker 2, a really cool air fryer that's got that DREO AI tech. This is just where AI gets exciting. It's that integration of hardware and software coming together to make your life easier and enable you to do things in a way that you wouldn't normally be able to do. So if you want to learn more about DREO AI, check out their amazing lineup of products, or just see more about their show announcements and what they've got for 2026, we'll throw a link right down below in the description so you can learn more and check out DREO and what they've got planned for the new year. We've also got some more confirmation that a pro-end iPhone is coming later this year. Looks like the iPhone 17e will get the dynamic island after all. And then one of the biggest stories of the show here was the drama that allegedly Samsung's display division, which is an official division of Samsung that obviously, as the name suggests, supplies screens and display tech to Apple, accidentally or maybe on purpose leaked the actual display that will be used in the foldable iPhone coming later this year. Because remember, we know an iPhone Fold is coming, we know it's going to be super fancy, and we know one of the ways that Apple's really going to try to make this special on their own is to make a totally crease-free folding phone that you could open this thing up, it'd be like a little book, and you would never actually tell, like the other foldables on the market, that this kind of was a weird folding screen. Samsung actually showed this off at an event at CES, at least Samsung Display. People snapped photos of it. But then once the internet kind of caught wind of this and they kind of put two and two together, like, hey, this is Apple's supplier, this is likely going to be the folding screen for the iPhone Fold, here's kind of an early look, and it does look super cool, Samsung Display pulled it, and then it wasn't at the show anymore. So this basically solidifies a couple of things. Number one, real cool looking folding screen coming that is basically crease-free. And also, so much evidence is coming in now that yes, after many years, a folding iPhone will be launching this year in 2026, likely going to be expensive, but going to be coming later on this fall. I'm sure we're going to get a bunch of new rumors and leaks as the year progresses, but even early into 2026, a lot of puzzle pieces are coming together for a pretty remarkable folding iPhone coming this year. All right, guys, so that is kind of the Apple news of the week. Of course, as we get into 2026, we're likely going to get a spring event. We'll get some announcements, new iOS versions, so on and so forth, some new iPhone 18 leaks coming in. But in the meantime, that's kind of what we know right now. I'm curious, do you think that leak was on purpose? Did Samsung show this off with the idea people were going to put two and two together? Or do you think this was an accident? Is there a reason why they pulled it from the show? Drop a comment down below, let me know. Appreciate you guys as always for watching. Thank you so much. I'm Rob Rosenfeld from the Apple Circle, and I'll see you guys in the next one.